Hi, I'm Katie Ross and I am one of the counseling interns here at the Family Center. Today, as part of our FCC Knows segment, we are going to be discussing bullying. I am joined here by some of our other counselors here, so if you guys want to go ahead and introduce yourselves.
I'm Keandra Hodge and I'm a counseling intern here at the Family Center.
And my name is Tiara Martin and I'm a master's legal counselor here at the Family Center.
Thanks guys for joining me today. So today we're discussing bullying, and I just wanted to ask you guys a bunch of questions so that we could kind of give some education to our audience, especially those with kids, because that's definitely something that kids are experiencing both at school, with their friend groups, and it also has kind of implications for their adult life as well. So kind of the basic question is, what is bullying? What does it look like?
Okay, so I would say that bullying is basically any actions that are done intentionally, such as physical, verbal, emotional, or psychological. It's mostly when teasing becomes really hurtful or unkind or mean. When someone does it to you, it can involve name calling, mocking, taking your people's money, or any personal items the person may have.
And two, I think also bullying can kind of present itself in cyberbullying as well, with all the social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram,
Yes,
Twitter,
definitely.
TikTok. I think that's one of the new ones too. That's also a really common place where kids are getting bullied, especially with the anonymity of it.
And on social media, it's also really popular to do different challenges, and a lot of times that'll be another way for people to pick on people and say mean things.
How does bullying affect these kids when they've experienced it?
I would say it affects kids a lot. A lot of them, there's some statistics that show that a lot of kids intentionally miss school or skip school because of bullying.
Right.
So it affects the education that they're receiving. It affects their emotional health when they're at school. They don't want to be there. They're not able to focus because they're worried about what's going to happen to them or what has already happened to them. And a lot of times kids feel shame and don't want to share their experiences of what they're going through.
Why do you think they're so ashamed to talk about bullying?
Because someone's picking on them, so they already just feel like I'm not good enough, or whatever they say is true, so then they feel nervous to own up and say what's happening to them. And also nervous about the response that they're going to get from someone if they do share.
I feel that fear plays a lot into when kids are being bullied, because you don't know what's going to happen if you tell on this person what this person is doing to you. And then also, what if you tell and no one does anything? So I feel that fear is a really big component that stops kids from reporting bullying, or even just talking with a friend or any type of adult casually to let them know what's happening with them.
And I think too that there's often threats that are associated with the bullying. Like if you tell on me, like we're gonna make it worse for you or something like that. And for kids, you know, school's already a tough environment, so they don't want to make it even worse for themselves.
Right.
And you guys both work with kids a lot. Do you notice that it kind of affects the kids' sense of self-esteem as well?
Yes, definitely. I would say it definitely affects self-esteem and self-worth, because sometimes, especially if you're being bullied over a long period of time, let's say if you're constantly being called stupid, you eventually will believe that. And a lot of times when a sign for watching out if your kid is being bullied is if your kid comes to you and says, hey, do you think I'm stupid, or if I do this, is this wrong? Those are often signs that they are being bullied, because they're really confused about what's true and what isn't true.
And childhood's a very delicate time, so you're learning about yourself, you're getting to know yourself, your body's changing, you're changing, and to throw in someone making fun of that process is tough too.
Yeah. So for the kids who are hopefully watching this video, what kind of advice would you give them when it comes to reporting bullying?
I think that firstly they should know that it's okay to stand up for yourself, and standing up for yourself doesn't necessarily look like, oh, standing up to the bullying saying stop and don't do that to me, because sometimes that can be dangerous depending on the type of bullying that's going on.
Right.
But being able to tell someone that has the power to do something, so whether that's your parents, another close family member, teachers, a principal, the cafeteria lady, anyone that you see regularly and kind of make contact with, just letting them know what's going on with you, or what something is making you uncomfortable, and then letting them know you want something to change and be done about it, and see what they do for you.
What do you think for the parents too? I mean, as a parent, it's probably really hard to hear that your kid's being bullied at school and you want to go into that protective mode. So what is kind of the best way to respond so that you don't add fuel to the fire for these kids?
Definitely don't overreact.
Right.
Definitely don't show up to the school and just make a humongous scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
To build them up and affirm them, I think would be a big component of it. Challenging the thoughts of whatever the person is saying and letting them know that that's not true, drowning them in positivity,
Yeah.
encouraging them and letting them know ways that they can stand up for themselves without putting themselves at risk. And yeah, I would say those things mainly.
I think it's really important, as Kendra said, to not go and add fuel to the fire, going up there causing this big scene and overreacting, but being very calm when they speak to you, kind of affirming what they're saying and support them in what's going on. But then also, even beforehand, just modeling what it looks like to be in a compassionate and appropriate relationship with other people and have appropriate interaction with other people in your home environment, so they are able to recognize when an interaction is not good for them, and then, like you said, restoring their confidence and affirming what's true and what isn't true is really helpful as well, and then teaching them to be able to speak up for themselves, to say when they are feeling uncomfortable and to say no, whether that's directly to the bully or to an adult.
Yeah, and especially when the kids are making that first step to tell their parents about what's happened, that's such a pivotal moment. So you want to respond correctly so that they continue feeling safe when other big important issues are going on in their lives.
And I think that's a really good point that you bring up, providing a safe environment and comfortable environment for your child to express those things to you, because sometimes kids know adults, but they may not feel comfortable and trusting and safe in telling those adults what's going on with them.
And another big thing is, like you're saying, their reaction to. If I tell my mom, if I tell my dad, or whomever I tell, how will they react?
Right.
And then you have to pay attention to how you react, like you were saying, because it sets the tone for if they share other things with you. And then also, it was nice that you pointed out that you're also telling them, if you're modeling how you should be treated and how people should treat you, then they'll be able to know that that's wrong. But unfortunately, some people are bullied at home by their families, so for them it's just another something that's happening, and for some people they may not even know that it's bullying or teasing, and they just think it's normal because it's a behavior that happens at home.
Well, you guys definitely provided a lot of great feedback and information for our viewers. Is there anything else that you guys want to add that we didn't get to touch base on?
I'll just say that nothing that someone does invites bullying.
Right.
You know, it's a reflection of that person and how they feel about themselves and whatever they have going on. Normally it's people projecting their own beliefs and thoughts onto other people. So there's nothing wrong with you if someone is bullying you. It doesn't make you weird or not normal. It's just unfortunate that that person is going through some things and not handling it well.
I would definitely agree with that, because I feel that's a big part of, like, I guess the aftermath of bullying, like wondering, that kind of destroys kids' self-esteem and self-worth, wondering what was wrong with me that this other child came here every day and picked on me, or this adult came in here and picked on me every day. So just parents being able to affirm their self-worth, let them know what good things are about them, their strengths about themselves, so their child can go into school with confidence. And then if the child does decide to stand up to the bully, they are able to do so confidently and be like, no, those things aren't true, and then kind of walk away from that situation. And it makes it easier to kind of go through those motions of ignoring what the bully is saying and not adding fuel to the fire.
And also I would just say addressing it too, because a lot of older clients who will come in and they're having some troubles in their life, or they have trouble with their esteem, after getting to know them, you'll notice that they were bullied or had some tough things happen when they were a child. So it's best to go ahead and resolve it and give your child a space to talk about it and really get it out so that it doesn't manifest into something else.
Later in life, right?
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys for joining me today. That was really helpful. If you guys want to get any more information on topics that we will be discussing, make sure that you guys hit the subscribe button and get notifications for all of our upcoming videos. Thanks.
Thank you.